This is it, Jennifer. Your big breaking TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Hello, everybody. I'm John.
I'm Justin.
And we're the Gore Goblins.
Yeah.
Justin didn't even try this time because he knew better.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to do an extended club remix of the intro or not.
No, that's Friday the 13th Part 3. That would have been a good joke for Friday the 13th Part 3. This is not part. This is a different Part 3, okay?
Oh, well.
Anyway, today, this is our show where we talk about stuff we like and don't or whatever.
Yeah.
You know the drill. It doesn't matter. Today, we're looking at A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors.
And I forgot in the last episode to read the lyrics to Alice Cooper's smash hit, Man Behind the Mask. So that's what I'm going to do now. And you know why? It's because there's a fucking another rock song, theme song for this movie called Dream Warriors by Dawkins. Now, me being me, when I hear Dawkins, I obviously think of something different. But in the 80s, it was nothing but heavy metal. All right? That's all it was.
Yep.
And Justin's on his phone. He doesn't even know what's going on.
I'm trying to find information.
About what?
The movie.
I already did all that.
Well, I can look things up too.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's good. You should do that. Find some, I don't know, stuff. It's very interesting, the background of this one. Anyway, here's the hit song, He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask.
In black.
By Alice Cooper. What?
You said he's back.
Oh, in black. I see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason's little key ma shit's all over the song. But I read these lyrics earlier and it's like so fucking like, God, it's so bad. You're with your baby and you're parked alone on a summer night. You're deep in love, but you're deeper in the woods. You think you're doing all right. He didn't rhyme for 2 whole lines until that last part. I need to make that clear. Love does not rhyme with alone, and neither does woods. And then the second verse is, did you hear that voice? Did you see that face? Or was it just a dream? This can't be real. That only happens, babe, on the movie screen. I don't know. There's a lot of that didn't rhyme. Oh, but he's back. He's the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back. The man behind the mask, and he crawled out of his hole. This is more akin to Halloween Ends than it is Jason Lives. I guess it works for both. But Halloween Ends, too. Let's be real. You're swimming with your girl out on Lover's Lake, and the wind blows cold. It chills your bones, but you're still on the make? That's a bad mistake. That is awful. But the mood was full, and you had a chance to be all alone, but you're not alone. This is your last dance and your last romance. And then it's the chorus again that I'm not going to repeat. And then you get a guitar solo and then a bridge. Oh, if you see him coming, get away if you can. Just keep on running. Run as fast as you can. He's a dangerous, dangerous man. And he's out tonight and he's watching you and he knows your house. No, don't turn out the lights.
What?
And then it's just the chorus. Something about he's after your soul. Yeah. That's the hit song that all those reviewers were talking about yesterday.
It's not even a good song.
Or yesterday, last time. And then now let's read Dream Warriors by Dawkins. The best band from the 80s, I'm sure. Apparently, I want to say there's a music video for this. And in the music video, at the end of it, Freddy wakes up from a nightmare where I guess he gets fucking creamed by Dawkins. What a sentence that is. But he gets creamed by Dawkins. And then he's like, who were those guys? And he's like scared. And I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Go away. Fucking the 80s were so weird. God damn it. Anyway, here's Dream Warriors by Dawkins. I lie awake at night, just buried in my mind. I'm sorry. That's not the song.
Can you imagine if that was the theme song for this?
I mean, it could work. I guess.
We got to make a music video with that song.
God, that fucking stupid ass video.
Clips of Nightmare on Elm Street playing in the background.
Anyway, well, like a fucking AMV.
A Nancy montage.
Oh my god. Well, yeah.
She will take no more.
No, she won't. Anyway, I lie awake and dread the lonely nights. I'm not alone. I wonder if these heavy eyes can face the unknown. Already, we're rhyming better. When I close my eyes, I realize you'll come my way. I'm standing in the night alone, forever together. Okay, if you're standing in the night alone, who are you together with I'm not even gonna. We're the Dream Warriors. Don't want to dream no more. We're the Dream Warriors, and maybe tonight you'll be gone. I feel the touch coming over me. I can't explain. I hear the voices calling out, calling my name. It's the same desire to feel the fire that's coming your way. I'm standing in the night alone, forever together. And then the fucking chorus again. And the guitar solo. Sweet revenge, the bitter end this time. Break the spell of illusion. Bound together, waiting for you. This sounds like a fucking love song. I just want to say, this is really weird. And then, yeah, just the chorus over and over again, and then that's it. Great song. Good job, guys. Good job. Good job, New Line Cinema. You did it. You did it. Anyway, part 3 of A Nightmare on Elm Street is Dream Warriors, and it's probably the best sequel for a lot of different reasons. Wes Craven came back to co-write it. He couldn't direct it, even though he wanted to. Frank Darabont of The Mist, the only good season of The Walking Dead, shut up, Justin. The Shawshank Redemption, basically,
Walking Dead's fine.
The Green Mile, all that shit. That's Frank Darabont, and he's great. He's a great writer, fantastic writer, and he this was like one of his first screenwriting credits, I think. And then Chuck Russell, who with Frank Darabont, I believe, also made the Blob remake a year later. Which is, because this came out in 87, The Blob came out in 88.
The Blob.
Which is a great fucking movie. I love that goddamn movie so much. It's like one of the best remakes ever, up there with Evil Dead and fucking, The Thing, and I guess The Fly. And, yeah, so then the Dream Team came back, kinda, for lack of a better term. The Dream Team being just Wes Craven. And then, I didn't realize this, but when I was watching it, I saw a name pop up that caught me off guard.
Was it Larry Fishburne?
Well, that was one. Yeah, Larry. It's Lawrence. Larry's weird. That I can't believe that.
This is before he was fancy.
Before he was Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, before everything changed with The Matrix, like 11 years later. But Angelo Badalamenti, who is he did the score for this film, which is a very good score, admittedly. It's got, your usual, like, jump scare shit, but it's also got, like, these really cool, like, synths and shit. And some stuff sounds like it's from a David Lynch movie, because Angelo Badalamenti did nothing but David Lynch movies. He did Blue Velvet. He did Mulholland Drive. I'm pretty sure he did Lost Highway. Do not quote me on that. I'm probably wrong. He did a shitload of Twin Peaks. Like, this dude is a heavy David Lynch. He's a heavy David Lynch collaborator. Also, Patricia Arquette, who got her start in this movie, was in Lost Highway. So, there's another Lynch connection, I guess. I know I've mentioned Lost Highway before because there's like some parallels between that and Halloween Ends and all that shit. But yeah, I just thought when his name popped up, I was like, what the fuck? I guess because at the time when I watched this many years ago, I hadn't watched a David Lynch movie, so I didn't know who he was. But he's a very good. He was R.I.P. to a real one. He was a very good musician, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Composer. There we go. Listen, man, I might be coming down with a terminal illness. I've been off today.
Jesus.
Anyway, you never know. Yeah, he's a very good composer. Very good composer. So yeah, I think he died like last year too. So he stuck around for a while. But yeah, score's pretty good. Patricia Arquette's in this. Larry Fishburne, Lawrence Fishburne, Heather Langenkamp comes back.
Only slightly better acting.
As Nancy Thompson. I was gonna say she's a little bit better, but not that much better.
All the bad she had in the first one, Patricia Arquette took.
Yeah, I guess. I thought she was okay. This was her first role. I'll cut her some slack because she's pretty good in Lost Highway. Also, funny thing, David Arquette, who's Patricia Arquette's brother, would work with Wes Craven when Wes Craven did Scream 1 through 4. So, I just think that's kind of funny that he was like, hey, I like you. I like your brother too, I guess.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah, obviously. And Dewey is my favorite character in Scream. So it worked out for me. But, yeah, Patricia Arquette's in this. There's a bunch of other people, I guess. Robert Englund, of course, comes back. And yeah, this was supposed to, again, just be the final movie. After the first one was supposed to be the only movie. And it was written that way and shot that way. And it wasn't the last one. So that's all I got to say about that right now. We'll get into it later. But yeah, I think it's pretty okay. I think it's pretty good as far as Nightmare on Elm Street sequels go.
Yeah.
It's got some of the more famous kills. Probably my favorite one in the franchise, actually, is in this one. Yeah, how do you feel about Dream Warriors, Justin?
It's the best one so far.
You like it more than the first one?
Yeah.
I can't believe you. I can't believe this kid.
It feels like it just actually took the dream concept and actually went somewhere with it, unlike the first one where you were more focused on the drama of, oh my God, what's going on, to where you already know what's going on in this one.
Yeah, and
that's they're free to be creative more.
That's one thing I appreciate about it. Apparently, Wes Craven's original script was also like super vulgar and like a lot more dark. And then Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont were like, okay, but let's just kind of be wacky and dark humor and have like dark humor in it. Like, let's do that instead. Because it's a dream world. You can do whatever the fuck you want, right? And Wes Craven was like, I just want everybody to die. So that was Wes Craven's idea. I think like pretty much everybody died in his script except for Kristen, which is Patricia Arquette. I think everybody else died. Also, spoiler, I guess, Freddy wasn't the wasn't the bastard son of 100 maniacs. In his script, and yeah, it was vulgar, and it was more vulgar. Freddy was more vulgar. He didn't really joke around a lot. He didn't really talk a lot either. From what I read, it sounds like he had more in common with Art the Clown than he did Freddy Krueger, because he did not talk except to just be an asshole, and his words were very sparse. Art the Clown obviously doesn't talk at all. But you know what I mean. Either way, I'm happy with the movie we got. And
minus the whole 100 Mad Men thing. I think that's stupid.
I mean, would you rather Alice Cooper be his father and Freddy's dead? Would you rather that?
That's not what I mean. His origin was already well enough to me in the first one. We didn't need some padded extension to it.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I don't think it really adds anything to his character.
Because every time the nun popped up on screen, I was just like, go away already. Can we get back to it?
Oh, because you hate religion, I remember.
No.
Anyway. Also, apparently John Saxon, who also comes back in this movie as Nancy's dad, and Robert Englund both wrote like different treatments for a Nightmare on Elm Street 3. John Saxon's is really fucking weird because it was going to be a prequel, and it was going to be, the premise was going to be that Freddy was set up and was like pressured into taking the blame for killing a bunch of kids. And the real perpetrators were, and I shit you not, the Manson family. They were going to just be killing children for some reason, which I don't think was Charles Manson's thing outside of, I guess, what was her name? Fuck. Sharon Tate. God damn it. I wanted to say Sharon Stone, which is not the right Sharon. Outside of, I guess, Sharon Tate, getting murdered while she was pregnant. But that also, it's debatable as whether or not Charles Manson directly ordered that or if that was just Tex's idea because he was a fucking lunatic. So, but that's a whole nother thing that I've done too much research into. If there's anything I've done too much research into, it's the O.J. Simpson trial and it's serial killers. I have done way too much research into all of that shit. But yeah, so Charles Manson was going to be, him and the Manson family were going to be killing kids, and then Freddy Krueger would have been pressured into taking the blame, and then he would have basically come back as a revenant to kill everybody, and it was going to be a prequel. And then Robert Englund's was called like Freddy's Funhouse or some shit, and it was going to be like Tina, which was the first girl that gets killed in the first movie. Her older sister was going to come back to Springwood to try to find out what happened to Tina. And then, Freddy was going to like pull her into the dream world, and he was going to he was going to like take 1428 Elm Street as his own and like booby trap it like Nancy did in the first movie. And that was going to be the whole thing, where she basically had to fight him in his fun house or whatever the fuck. Also, apparently, the initial idea, I know that like suicide is kind of touched on in the movie, but the initial idea was going to be kids like flocking to a barn that Freddy was born in, where they just get fucking killed and they see it as suicides. That was going to be the initial premise. And Wes Craven was like, which is funny. It's funny that this is what stopped him, because he made Last House on the Left. But what stopped him was he made The Hills Have Eyes. I can't forget about that. What stopped him was that he felt that suicide was too taboo a subject. So he decided to go with what the main story is in the movie. Which is funny, because he made 2 movies about people getting raped, and he didn't think that was taboo. But he thinks suicide is taboo. I love you, Wes, but what the fuck? It didn't stop you before. It definitely didn't stop you before. And all of a sudden, you were like, well, maybe I should dial it back. Maybe suicide's a little too much.
Too much.
But anyway, yeah, the premise of the film is basically that Patricia Arquette ends up in the overall premise is that there's these kids in I guess not, why do I want to say, my brain is so fried, I almost said maternity ward. There are these kids in like I don't want to call it an asylum, because that's not what it is. It's like it's kind of like the place where all those kids were in Part 5. Yeah, like a home for them, like, whatever.
To rehab and cope with their problems.
Yes.
One's a drug addict, one had trauma, so now he can't talk.
Yeah, every kid had like some problem. Kincaid is comes from a rough neighborhood, and like he, is trauma with that shit, and he's violent because of it. Yeah. Philip is just a habitual sleepwalker that likes to make puppets. Joey, it was so traumatized he couldn't talk. Kristen got her wrist slashed by Freddy, but her bitch-ass mom, I hate her mom so much, her bitch mom was like, oh, you just want to kill yourself because you just want attention. And then she put her in the fucking home because she's a bitch. I hate her mom so much. And then you got Will, who likes D&D, and that's his whole character. Also, he tried to kill himself before, and he's paralyzed. And then Taryn. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. The spelling makes sense now.
Drug addict.
Taryn was a drug addict. And then you have Jennifer, right? Is it Jennifer or Jessica? It's Jennifer, right?
The one who watches TV?
The one who watches TV and she like puts out cigarettes on her skin because she's Jennifer. A freak. Those are. Notice how I remembered pretty much all their names. That's because they're actually good, well-written characters. Who would have thought that when you have 3 good writers on a movie, that you'd have good, well-written characters? Wow, Who would have fucking thought, huh? Anyway, yeah, those are all the characters. And then Nancy, obviously, she's a psychiatrist now. She comes back to try to help these kids. And like, she bonds with Kristen because Kristen, they're trying to sedate her, right? After she gets taken to the home.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts singing the nursery rhyme. And then Nancy finishes it for her. And then they just kind of hug. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet, I guess.
It's like, I know what you're going through.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Nancy meets everybody. And then there's Neil, who is the other doctor there.
The group leader.
The group leader. And then some fucking bitch nurse.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, sure. That's her name.
That is her name.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so then that's the general premise, is that Freddy attacks these kids because they're the last of the Elm Street kids, which means that Kristen's bitch mom fucking helped kill Freddy. But that's besides the point. They're the last of the Elm Street kids, and that's why Freddy's targeting them. And, you know, typical slasher shit, he starts killing them off one by one. But this one has a twist where Kristen can pull people into her dreams. And she mentions how, like, she used to do it with her dad. And then her dad would always talk about it the next day thinking it was his dream when it was really her dream. And I was like, that's nice. And then, you know, and then all these kids realize they have, you know, powers of some kind. And there's, again, some really good, like, set pieces in this. My favorite kill in the franchise probably is in this movie. And then, you know, Freddy's most iconic line probably came from... it did come from this movie, too. So, anyway, let's talk about it, huh? So...
George is like, no.
George is like, shake my hand, sir. So, Freddy starts killing these kids. I think Philip's the first to go.
Yep.
And fucking Freddy turns into one of his puppets, and then like,
which looked really cool.
And then he cuts his arms open, right?
Cuts his arms open, cuts his legs open, and then pulls the tendons out.
Yeah, dude, it's so gnarly. I love it.
To use him as a marionette. And
then he's like basically, you know, walking him like a puppet. Kincaid is like, whatever, you're sleepwalking, who cares? And then he makes him. He like holds him over the edge of a window, and then he just cuts the strings, and then he falls to his death. And that is my favorite death in the whole franchise. It's so gnarly that's how you get taken out. It's so fucking gnarly, and I love it so much. And then I believe the next one is Jennifer.
Yep.
Who has probably the most iconic death in the franchise. But it also, and part of that is because of the ad-libbed line from Freddy Krueger, or from Robert Englund. I mean, they're one and the same, let's be real. But the line that's in the script is, "This is it, Jennifer, your big break on TV." And then, when they were trying to catch an alternate angle, Robert Englund instead said, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." And that is the most iconic thing he ever uttered. And then he smashes her head through the TV. I love that scene a lot. I like that scene a lot. Lawrence Fishburne also, I forgot to mention, he's in this movie. Don't remember his character's name, but he's like
Max.
a nurse. Was it Max? It is Max, yeah. And then he's like a nurse. And he talks to Jennifer like before she dies, and he's like, oh, you know, just keep watching TV, but I didn't see this, or whatever the fuck, and then she dies. And that's a good death. A good death scene. Anyway, after that, then we get talks of suicide, and I think Neil mentions, this is when Philip dies at least, Neil mentions how what he did was cowardly and all that. You know, typical suicide talk. What he did was cowardly. And I'm going to be real with you real quick. I've never really liked that kind of talk with it when you're talking about suicide, because I wouldn't call it cowardly. It's more like desperation. If you've struggled with it, you know you're not taking a coward's way out. You're just trying to find an end to everything because it's, you know, for whatever reason, you're tired of life. So I've never really liked that aspect of like suicide talk and if you call a suicide hotline, they're not going to call you a fucking coward. Like, that's the thing, because that's pretty negative talk. especially around a bunch of other at-risk children. I think that's the wrong thing to say to them. Is, oh, well, he was a coward. He didn't think about what it was going to do to you. Yeah, he might not have thought about what it was going to do, but, like, I don't think he was a coward. I don't think that's the right language to use. But yeah, Neil says all that shit. And then, Nancy's like, it's fucking, y'all are all seeing Freddy. Let's do after Jennifer dies, she's like, let's do a thing where we all try to go to sleep. And it doesn't seem to work initially. But if you've watched a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, you know what's going to happen. And what happens is that they are sleeping. And Joey has the hots for this nurse, right? That he really wants to sleep with because he's a hormonal teenager.
You left out an important thing that pops up again later in.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Freddy versus Jason.
Oh my god.
The drug that they use.
Oh, the drug that Nancy uses. Yeah.
Hypnosil.
Yeah, Hypnosil. That's not just in Freddy versus Jason. It's in.
Well, I don't remember the others.
It's in like other movies that aren't related to Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I think it's in Stitches. I think it's mentioned in Stitches for some fucking reason. I think it's in. I think it was in an Evil Dead comic, which is weird, but whatever. That's besides the point. Yeah, Heather Langenkamp, Nancy's taking them pills because she doesn't want to see Freddy, and Neil does some research on it and on this fucking old ass fucking 80s computer, and it's like I guess I don't know if he's in his home or in a library, but either way. It tells him, like, oh, yeah, it's for fucking sleep night terrors and to suppress sleep or to suppress dreams and sleep. And then, so then that's the detail. Anyway.
I like how Nancy kept her white streak. She never dyed it.
Where did she get that from again?
From her nightmare.
That's right. That's right.
While she was in the hospital that first time, all strapped to that shit.
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember exactly where she got it from, but yeah, okay, that makes sense.
She was embracing her inner rogue.
Yeah, also, I guess as a reminder.
Yeah.
But Joey has the hots for this nurse, right? And then the nurse is like, oh, I want to fuck you, actually. And then she, like, takes her clothes off. And then, like, she starts kissing Joey, which I'm pretty sure is probably statutory rape, but that's besides the point. Because then, a bunch of fucking, her tongue basically subdues Joey.
He gets tongue-tied.
And then it's Freddy. It was supposed to be, the nurse was supposed to be naked, but she was supposed to have Freddy's face, which would have been jarring. I think that's what Chuck Russell said, is that it was too off-kilter. So they didn't do that, thank God, because that would have stuck with me for the rest of my life. And then Joey basically goes into a coma, pretty much. Everybody else realizes what's going on, and then they all wake up.
Well, no, they don't wake up. Elizabeth bursts into the room and is like, what the fuck are all y'all doing? And then she's like, oh, no, Joey's unresponsive. Now he's in a coma. This is your fault, Phil. Get out of here.
This is your fault, bitch.
The fuck his name was?
Neil.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, when all this shit's happening, Neil is seeing this Sister Mary Helena or whatever the fuck her name was. And she's like, hey, yeah, Freddy Krueger's a fucking bastard son of 100 maniacs because there's this... Oh, here's the rape that Wes Craven loves so much. So they it's funny because there's like none of that in Scream. Throughout all 4 Scream movies, there is 0 rape, and in everything else that I've seen him do, at least so far, there's a little bit of rape. Because what happens here is Freddy's mother got locked into a church tower or whatever.
The ward that held all the worst criminals, not criminals, mentally disturbed people.
Yeah, and then, they all raped her for like 100 hours or whatever.
Days.
And they found her. She was barely alive, but then she somehow gave birth to Freddy Krueger. And she's like, you're going to have to put some faith into this, but you need to give him a proper burial with holy water and everything in order to fully stop him.
Gotta lay him in hollow ground.
In hollowed ground, yes. So, Nancy and Neil who were supposed to have a romance in this movie, and a sex scene was even in the script, which would have been gross. At most, they were gonna kiss, but that scene was cut, which I'd rather have it that way, just because it's like not every like lead has to fuck another lead. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It gets old and predictable after a while, but. They go and find Nancy's dad, who's drinking himself to death because her mom died in her sleep or whatever, and we all know what happened. And he's the only one that would know where Freddy's buried. So Nancy's like, well, and he's like, I'm not going to show you. So then Nancy's like, all right, well, I'm going to go try to fight back with the kids. And then Neil's like, actually, we're going to go to where Freddy is. So then they go to a fucking abandoned car lot, like a junkyard, and they buried Freddy, and his remains are in the trunk of just like a Cadillac or some shit. So they take it out and they start digging, and while all that's happening, I think Kristen gets sedated, so she's knocked the fuck out. So then Nancy does another group thing where they all go to sleep. They all realize their powers. They realized their powers earlier when they did it the first time, because Kincaid realizes he's super strong. Will's like, I'm a dungeon master, or whatever his nerdy
the wizard.
What is it?
The wizard.
The wizard. Will the wizard. Wizard Will, if you will. Taryn. What was Taryn?
She's beautiful and bad with her fucking shark fin mohawk.
That's really it, huh?
And her two little switchblades.
That's really it, huh? Okay. And then, obviously Kristen can just do whatever the fuck she wants in the dream world or whatever. And then Joey, it's revealed later, can talk really loud, like Banshee kind of. Oh, I guess more like Black Bolt. But yeah, so then they go and start fighting Freddy because Nancy's like, we got to save Kristen. And then Freddy's like, actually, I'm going to kill Will and Taryn real quick. So he stabs Taryn with needle fingers and injects her with drugs. Originally, her head was supposed to explode, but they thought it looked stupid, so they didn't do that.
They thought that looked stupid, but not her mohawk.
Yeah. Also, speaking of things getting cut, when they made the Snake Freddy, when Kristen first pulls Nancy into her dream, when they made that Snake Freddy, it looked like a dick, because it was like pink. And they were like, wow, this looks like a dick eating a little girl. We need to not do that. So then what they did instead was they like covered him in goop and just like, did their thing. And then in that scene, Freddy's like, you, because he recognizes Nancy. Anyway, yeah, and then Will just gets, I don't remember how Will dies.
But before they all go in and fight, there's that cool part where Nancy's looking at Joey while he's asleep, and Freddy White's come and get him, bitch.
Yeah, because she's like, let him go, and then he carves into his skin, come and get him, bitch. That's good. That is a really cool scene. Anyway, how does Will die? I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest.
Just gets stabbed.
Just gets stabbed. That's it?
I think.
Oh wow. Okay. Anyway, that's how Will dies.
Because he's trying all his powers and shit, and then Freddy's like, nah, I can resist powers.
Freddy's like, nah, dude, I'm good. I'm vibing. And then, the final showdown happens after Joey's power is revealed because Freddy like kidnaps everybody through mirrors, which was probably a really cool effect in 1987, but it does not hold up on Blu-ray. It does not look great. This was pre-CGI, so they were doing what they could, and it was cool. Apparently, the script was even more ambitious than what was in the movie already, but pretty cool. Joey screams and breaks all the mirrors, and everybody gets thrown out, and they're just like, yo, what the fuck? And then while this is all happening, Freddy, shortly before that, they're beating up on Freddy, and then Freddy's like, wait, actually, they're trying to bury my body. I better turn into a skeleton real quick. So then he possesses his skeleton, kills Nancy's dad by throwing him into a fucking like fin of a car or some shit, and then he knocks out but doesn't kill Neil. He doesn't even like finish burying him, which I always think is funny because like he knocks him out, and he could have done like a reanimator thing and just like decapitated him with the shovel. but instead he just like lightly buries him. And by lightly, I mean he does like 2 scoops of dirt on him. And then he's like, all right, I'm done. He like laughs.
He had to get Nancy.
And then he's like, all right, time to go kill these kids. Anyway, Neil wakes up. While during the final showdown, Nancy sees her dad. And her dad's like, hey, by the way, I'm dead. I'm just crossing over. I just want to say bye. And Nancy's like, oh, I love you, Dad. And then it's actually Freddy, and she stabs him and throws her off to the side. And then
Fuck you, Nancy.
Kristen's like, no. And then they, Freddy starts trying to kill him. Nancy then wakes up and uses his own glove against him and kills him, or starts to kill him. While this is happening, Neil is throwing holy water on his bones, and then he just fucking dies. That's how he dies.
Freddy's dead.
I mean, it's a better way to go out than he did in that fucking movie. Anyway, what a fucking piece of shit. Anyway, so, yeah, he fucking dies. Despite having all the souls of the children fucking growing out of his body, he dies. He explodes, and then Kristen's like, no, Nancy, don't die. I'll make sure that you have a happy dream forever. And then Nancy dies. R.I.P. Nancy. We go to her funeral. Neil sees the nun one more time, and then he goes to where she goes, and it's Amanda Kruger's grave. And he's like, oh, it was you the whole time. What the fuck? And he looks right at the camera when he says that. And then, sometime later, Neil's asleep, and he's sleeping with the papier-mâché house that Kristen made at the beginning of the movie. And then a light turns on, signaling that Freddy is coming back, baby, at least 3 more times. At least 3 more times. So, originally, I don't know if they filmed it, but in the script, what was supposed to happen was you were going to have a dream where Kristen sees Nancy, and Nancy's like kind of there as a guardian, And that ending is supposed to be Nancy turning on the light in the house. So Freddy was supposed to just be dead. And the studio was like, actually leave it open because, sequels. And that's what happened. Has Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors. That's everything that happens. It's pretty good. We had a fun time, I think. Anyway, That's the episode.
Well,
that's not the episode.
I mean, you don't have to assume it's Freddy that turns on the light at the end of that one.
Yeah, I know. But, like...
Because it's Nancy's house, so you could just assume she went back.
Yeah, but, I mean, without that scene, I'm pretty sure most of the audience thought, oh, hey, he's still alive. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, oh, yeah, he's coming back.
Probably.
Yeah, he's coming back. But, yeah.
Vengeance.
So, also... Another idea for the movie was going to be Freddy stalking the actors while they were trying to make a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, which is what ends up happening in New Nightmare, kind of, because it's not really Freddy. And then that's also what ends up happening in Scream 3. It's not Freddy, but it's Ghostface while they're trying to make another Stab movie. Because that's what it's called in the Scream universe, which I always think is funny. But yeah, all that was going to be a thing, and then they were like, nah, let's just make it simple. So they did. Also, before Jennifer gets killed, she's watching a talk show where Zaza Gabor is the guest. She was not supposed to be the guest, but she was handpicked by Dick Caveat. That's his name, right? Dick Caveat? Cavett. Dick Cavett. Not Caveat. Dick Cavett was like, yeah, I want Zaza Gabor to be the guest because she's the stupidest person I've ever fucking met, and I would never have her on my show in real life, and if anybody's going to kill her, I want Freddy to be the one to do it. And apparently, she didn't even know what movie she was doing. She just knew it was a job. So when Freddy popped out, she was like genuinely surprised, and she had an actual freak out, which I think is funny. But yeah. So, That's an interesting bit of trivia. Anyway, Mark Shostrom, who helped do special effects in Evil Dead 2, worked on this one, and I believe, and then Kevin Yeager came back and did it too. So, all good. All good. Anyway, this movie did pretty well box office wise. I think it's the third highest grossing Nightmare on Elm Street movie behind Freddy vs. Jason and what was it? Dream Master. Or that's part 4, right? Dream Master?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then apparently everybody on set had a crush on Patricia Arquette, which I've seen Lost Highway, so I get it. I get it. And they would apparently go to Robert Englund in full Freddy makeup and ask him, like, what should I do to talk to her? Do you think I have a chance? And I just think that's funny. I think that's really fucking funny that every single guy on set was like, she's really pretty. And then they were like, hey, Freddy Krueger, what do I do? I think that's hilarious. I think that's hilarious. So anyway, until I think of other stuff that I read today.
Other stuff.
Critical response.
Fuck yeah.
The film has an approval rating of 69%. On Rotten Tomatoes, based on 61 reviews, the average rating is 5.8 out of 10. The consensus reads, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors offers an imaginative and surprisingly satisfying rebound for a franchise already starting to succumb to sequelitis. That's so pretentious, dude.
Yeah.
Why do they always have to fucking...
Sequelitis.
Variety wrote that Russell's poor direction makes the film's intended and unintended humor difficult to differentiate. Okay, buddy. Listen, it's not even that bad, okay? Acting like this is the worst fucking directing job. Fucking A New Blood was already out at this point. Or not A New Blood, A New Beginning was already out at this point. Listen, man, I think I might have, like, brain cancer. I'm gonna be real. I can't fucking think today. But, yeah, so Russell's direction was fine, I think. What else? Roger Ebert. Oh, boy. Roger Ebert rated it 1.5 out of 4 stars. He liked the production values, but said that it never generated any sympathy for its characters. Did we watch the same movie?
I mean, I didn't get a sense that anyone felt bad for them other than, Jesus Christ, I just forgot her name.
Oh, you got brain cancer too. Awesome.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the only one. I kept wanting to say Kristen for some reason.
It's because that's Patricia Arquette's name.
But yeah, Nancy's the only one who really felt bad for them. I mean, the doctor was trying to understand in a clinical way, and the old lady nurse, Elizabeth, she was a bitch.
Yeah. Janet Maslin.
I don't think the point was to feel sorry for them.
I mean, yeah, it's a slasher, so... The film's dream Janet Maslin of the New York Times wrote, the film's dream sequences are ingenious, and they feature some remarkable nightmare images and special effects. Although he criticized Langenkamp's acting, Kim Newman wrote in Empire that the film delivers amazing scenes in spades, bringing to life the sort of bizarre images which used to be found only on comic book covers. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Good movie. Anyway... What else you got to add, Justin, while I look for terrible reviews?
Oh, I like all the effects in this movie.
The effects are good. Some of them don't hold up super well.
Like the mirror thing, yeah.
Just because it's from the fucking 80s.
But the puppet thing was cool.
Oh, yeah, the puppet one is one of the best parts of the movie, yeah. I
thought... How he looks when he pops out of the TV looks really cool, too.
Oh, yeah, that weird, like, gross, like, condom effect when his head's coming out.
Yeah.
That shit's awesome, dude. And again, I'm glad that all that shit was practical, because if this was made today, it would all be CG and it would look like shit. It would not look good. Would not look good. Anyway, where the fuck are these reviews? See all user reviews.
All user
Sort by
reviews.
1 star.
1 star.
There's only one 1-star review for this movie.
Damn.
Wow. Really? All right. Well, I'm going to read the whole thing then. Normally, I just look for short ones, but if this is
One
the
bad
only
review.
user review, 1 out of 10. Freddy does Once Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. First of all, Ben Cheshire, if that is your real name, it's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, not Once Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So automatically, I don't give a fuck what you think. Anyway, he says, spoilers. He pulls a lot of quotes first. Philip's death was a sleepwalking accident, nothing more. I'm prescribing Hypnosil. That's a dream suppressant. Freddy, the bastard son of 100 mediums? Mediums?
What?
Some say he was murdered, but nobody was ever found. You must find the remains and bury them in hollowed ground. That rhymed.
Yeah.
George, note. George, why are you meowing? You want to be on the podcast, baby? You want to be on the podcast, little buddy? Come on. Who's your little stinker? Who's a little stinker? Who's your little stinker? Yes, you a talky boy. Talkative little baby boy. Anyway. Freddy's back, and this time he's framing kids for their own suicides. Or if they don't die, the evil adults, parents, doctors, psychologists, lock them up in a mental institution. These elements are preserved from the first one. Cheesy dialogue, hammy acting, the pretense of really difficult issues, which gives the actors an even tougher job. Suicide, madness, mental institutions. Heather Langenkamp, which he misspelled, from the first movie, who comes out with such beauties as all of you have that inner strength, some special power you had in your most wonderful dreams, and imaginative, humorous death scenes. Stop motion animation is shamelessly used multiple times to create fouler, more imaginative deaths than in the first movie. Dick Cavett turns into Freddy. A puppet turns into Freddy for a moment. Freddy appears as a giant, greasy killer worm. A sink turns into Freddy, and a TV turns into Freddy, and kills a girl who wanted to be an actress. In a very Craven-esque, self-referential scene, this is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. It's on TV. It's trashy, cheesy, sometimes gross and freaky, but always fun because it doesn't pretend to be anything else. Look out for Morpheus playing an orderly and cute Patricia Arquette. First of all, brother, Patricia Arquette was underage when this movie was made. That's the first thing I'm going to say. Secondly, you rated this a 1 out of 10 and you were positive? What the fuck is with IMDb's user reviews, dude?
I don't know.
Oh my god. Anyway, let's look at some 10-star reviews. I want to see what people. That is a whole fucking essay. Jesus Christ. That's another.
Hey, did you know the 1980s and 1999 home video didn't feature Dawkins' song?
Oh, it had like a different Dawkins song, didn't it?
No, it had the song called "Quiet Cool" by Joe Lamont.
What the fuck?
It didn't get the original song back to the DVD.
I know too that what was it that on the original VHS, Dawkins' Dream Warriors music video plays at the end of the tape, which the movie was already scary enough. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me see. Best sequel of the franchise. So we got some pretty hot takes here. Not really. This guy is Sure Why Not 666.
Nice.
He's 10 out of 10. Freddy at its best. Let's be real. This is the best. A nightmare movie of them all. I dare to say it is even better than the original. This movie has Freddy Krueger at its best. At its best?
Yeah, Freddy's an it.
Okay. He's still menacing. He's still menacing, but also sarcastic at the same time. It also has the strongest characters, acting, and special effects in the Inter franchise. Also, Dawkins rocks.
Okay.
The only reason why this is rated lower than the original, it's because it is the third movie in a slasher franchise. But this movie is not your typical slasher and sequel and should definitely be regarded as a classic alongside the original. Thanks. The best sequel of the franchise. The third film is by JP91, our friend, from the last few reviews. The third film is the best sequel of the A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Heather Langenkamp is back for Freddy. She has new friends, the Dream Warriors.
She has new friends.
The script is thrilling and creepy, full of a dark atmosphere and great surrealistic scenes. All you had to do was say surreal, buddy. The nightmares and death scenes are the top ones in the whole franchise. A masterpiece. Thanks, JP91. We love you.
Masterpiece.
I hope you listen to this fucking episode one day and know how loved you are by me and Justin. Best A Nightmare on Elm Street film, says Dean Drail Jet. This is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie and sequel in the Freddy Krueger franchise, and the best. That's what he said.
Best.
Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best, the best? The movie that put this series on the map, says Justin Fanksack. I'm pretty sure he was in the last episode too. 3 years after A Nightmare on Elm Street and its follow-up sequel made Wes Craven the horror king of the 80s. I don't think the sequel did. Dream Warriors came out and became profitable, forcing a fourth film to be made to be released the following year. This is all the same sentence. A trend which lasted until 1989. In 1991, the first 3D entry in the series, Freddy's Dead, he spelled Freddy wrong, came out, soon to be followed by Wes Craven's New Nightmare 3 years after that. It took 12 years for Freddy to beat Jason in their highest grossing movie ever, and then got rebooted for each character, each with diminishing results. The title song by Dawkins is a classic, and Patricia Arquette is hot in her film debut. She is underage. I'm gonna check, but I'm pretty sure she was underage when this fucking movie came out. The effects are very good and the scares are not that cheap. It is a movie not for kids. That is a 10 out of 10 review. And it was just a history lesson on the whole fucking franchise and then him being a pedophile. So let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me make sure that Patricia Arquette was actually, let me see, 68. She was 19. So I'll get. You know what? I'll let it slide. She was 19. That's still kind of creepy, but whatever. She was 19. If you want to say she was hot, say she was hot in Lost Highway because she actually was really hot in Lost Highway. But you know,
this person just said abysmal, and the only thing worth watching, worth cheering, is the special effects work by Peter Chesney.
Who wrote that one?
Nigel Andrews.
Are you on IMDb or are you on Rotten Tomatoes?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes?
It's the dumbest installment in the series.
And so there's more to it than what you already read?
No, that was the second review.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Desmond. What great insight.
Oh, my God. Yeah, she was 19 when Nightmare... Okay, so I'm sorry for calling you a pedophile, Justin Fanksack, but also she looks like a little girl in this movie. So... I'm gonna let it slide, but I'm definitely gonna look at you funny.
Yeah, slide.
Stop that right now. Stop whatever
What?
you were about to say right now.
The Goo Goo Dolls?
All right, buddy. I'm gonna kill you. My
Nightmare
mind's in
on
the
Elm
gutter.
Street 3 bogs down in terms of storyline clarity.
What? What the okay, anyway.
The movie's not hard to follow, dude.
This one's by Cursius Bezdalas. Maybe even better than the original. This part is more entertaining than the original. I always watch slasher movies only for entertainment. I don't care much about dialogues. Psycho would be an exception. The dialogues was the best thing in it. Or acting. All I want to see is some entertaining, sometimes funny-looking graphic murder scenes. And this movie has it. My favorite was TV room scene. I also find this movie being really creepy sometimes, which is not usual for slasher films. Like that scene where Freddy made one of the kids fall off from a window. The whole scene was kind of creepy. The plot was great. I like the idea that this movie is set on mental hospital. That made this movie even more creepy. The people that write these reviews, Justin, I just want to say, there's some interesting folk. I'm going to be real. The best since the original, says Ever Tilly. I wonder if they're a Jennifer Tilly fan, which I watched Bride of Chucky the other night. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. There's that part where she's telling Damien like to get on his knees and crawl to her, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, I'm sweating over here. Like, oh my goodness. Yeah, she's really good at that movie. I really like Bride of Chucky. It's pretty fun. It's a fun old time. Good movie. I can't wait to cover it eventually.
Eventually.
Maybe we'll do that one after Scream. Although Hatchet's real quick. I don't know. George, you just want to be on the podcast, don't you, little buddy?
He votes for Hatchet. I like this one by Bob Ross. The originality and wit of the first two seems to have been skipped in favor of flashy effects and pseudo-religious false traits.
What is he talking about? What? What the fuck? Oh my! I'm gonna murder this man. Anyway, the best since the original, says Evertilly. Dream Warriors finds a way to make adding backstory scary and effective, and opens up the series to some very interesting possibilities. Heather Langenkamp, the original film's heroine, returns to help a group of teenagers in a mental hospital who have been driven mad by dreams of child killer Freddy Krueger. The dream sequences are imaginative and even a little scary. The stakes are high, and the characters and performances raise it above any other generic teen slasher that I can think of. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. God,
Thank you.
Geez, that's a whole fucking essay. Oh my God. Fantastic creative sequel, says Jordan Septic Eye.
Nice.
I was gonna let that hold for a second so you could revel in the cringe that I feel right now. This movie is awesome. I honestly didn't see any flaws with it, but Heather Langenkamp did seem a bit monotone. So, I'll talk about the good, the tone. It keeps the seriousness from the original and actually deals with real issues like drug addiction. The characters, they feel realistic and are well acted. The film is very creative. The dream sequences are fantastic. I love the kills and the effects are great. Bringing Nancy back was awesome. Freddy was great, even though this is the beginning of the jokey version of him, and I like how we get to know a bit of his backstory involving his mother. Dream Warriors is great and the perfect sequel. Is it a perfect sequel, though?
I wouldn't call it perfect.
It's definitely not, but it is good. It's very good. Can you imagine if this movie had been in 3D and it would have fucking sucked like Friday the 13th Part 3?
What does it mean, Bill Brownstein?
What does Bill Brownstein have to say?
Some have called it a classic gothic horror. Others say it's merely grotesque. Go with the latter group.
Classic gothic? There's nothing gothic about the movie. What the fuck? Did he get it mixed up with Jason Lives? Like, what the fuck? Oh my, these people. Anyway, excellent, says Little Cool Guy. This is one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street movies ever made. You just have to see it. Although most of the characters aren't originally how they were created in the script. For example, Taryn was supposed to be African American and stuff like that. Weird thing to point out, brother, but I'll take it. The movie is still really good. I like Jennifer's death and that saying, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," before she was smashed into the TV. But that was supposed to go, "This is it, your big break in TV." He still says that, though. But the one in the movie is better, I think. Cool death scenes, too, like the one where Freddy turned one of the boys into a puppet and made him jump out of the highest window. Although it was a bit yuck, the strings were his veins. I have only seen the first three, but this and number one were the best so far. Number two was really stupid, and I mean really, really stupid. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, that's slander. How you gonna slander the best gay fucking horror movie ever? It's not the best gay horror movie, but it's all right. It's the best gay horror movie that doesn't know it's a horror movie. That doesn't know it's gay. What else we got? Yes, says Bevo13678. So this is a robot. Possibly my favorite romantic comedy of all time. The puppet scene had me laughing and crying at the same time.
What the fuck?
He wrote this on April 1st of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. What else do we have? Wow. Austin Powers says, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. If I could do a good imitation of him, I'd read it in his voice.
Freddy's not as scary as he was in the first two.
Okay. I mean, I guess. But is that a reason to knock it? A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors was the first Freddy film I saw many years ago, and what a great start. The main characters from the first film, Heather Langenkamp and John Saxon, are back with a troupe of great actors, including Patricia Arquette and Lawrence Fishburne. But most important of all, Freddy is back! Bigger, stronger, and more vicious than ever. It is clear that the budget is bigger, the special effects are stunning, and the dream sequences are much more elegant and terrifying. Especially the puppet scene made my underpants crawl up my crack. Jesus Christ. A great sequel and definitely a must buy for every Freddy fan. Jesus fucking Christ, why would you say that? This Jack Dickey quotes the Dawkins song and says, "Dream Warriors, don't want to dream no more." Great film. Such a great film. I love this film more than the first two. It's a fantastic film about taking control of your own dreams. These characters go from being terrified of Freddy to standing up for themselves and attacking that dirty son of a bitch, using their own powers to fight against him. However, like always, Freddy finds out what hurts most and uses it against them, lurking one to her death as this girl walks over to the TV and tries to fix it when all of a sudden Freddy pops out and kills her, and before the kill he states, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," before smashing her face into the TV. It's great, and I don't want to ruin anything here. You already did. So please go see this film. It's the best in the series and is one to remember. 10 out of 10, go see it. It's a film I list as a must-see before you die, even if you're not a horror fan. Also, him saying "dirty son of a bitch" reminded me of that one Family Guy bit where it's Scooby-Doo murder mysteries. And Velma's like, they looks like the victim was strangled and then thrown into the lake or whatever.
Dealing with one real sick son of a bitch gang.
Yeah, because Scooby's like, "Ruh-roh." He's like, "That's right, gang. We're dealing with one sick son of a bitch." That's fucking. Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
This is when Freddy stopped being scary. Still has its moments in a fantasy rather than horror.
I guess.
No.
Freddy vs. the Dream Warriors by Pumpkin Man. Freddy's third is better than the second because he is in it more, and Nancy is back. Nancy helps teens with their nightmares at Weston Hills. Kristen has the power to bring people into her dreams. She gets help from Nancy, Joey, Kincaid, and others. Dr. Neil Gordon tries to help by burying Freddy in holy ground and splashing his bones with holy water. This one hints about how Freddy came to be. I think it's more than a hint. You find out more about that in A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. This is also kind of sad because Nancy dies towards the end. If you love the Freddy series, hopefully you'll love A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. I love it. I love these reviews where they spoil the whole movie. And they're like, "Hope you like it." Like, I know that's kind of what we do, but like, I don't know. We're a podcast. We're not an internet review site.
You want to know what Robert Ebert says? Roger Ebert?
Oh, I already read part of his earlier. What did he say, though?
This is filmmaking by the numbers without soul.
By the numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's some pretty inventive stuff in there. But what do I know? I'm just, I'm just some dude that likes horror movies. But, are there any other good ones, Justin?
Nah.
No. But yeah. That's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. The Dream Warriors.
All characters seemed adrift in a machine-made script.
These are people that watch like fucking Bergman films and then think they're above this shit. So then they'll watch it and be like, "Oh, trash." And see, why can't they just be like me, where I watch Bergman films and sometimes don't understand them, but still enjoy them, and then don't act like I'm above movies like this. Because you know what? Movies are fun no matter what. Unless they're fucking boring, then they're not fun. But if a movie is boring, that's the worst thing it can be. And you know what? This movie wasn't boring. And the practical effects were really good. Philip getting marionetted by his fucking tendons will haunt me forever. I'm just going to say that.
This motherfucker will praise the line, "the bastard son of 100 maniacs," as the most memorable quote from this movie.
That's not the best quote. The best, you already know what the intro is going to be for this episode. It's going to be "Welcome to Prime Time, bitch." There's no way it's not going to be.
Now that would make a great title for a horror movie.
The bastard son of 100 maniacs? I mean, yeah. But then what would it be about? Would it be about a dude just, killing people? Would it be about... I don't know. It's fine. I don't understand. People are weird sometimes, man. They're just goofy. I wish there were more 1-star reviews on fucking IMDb. If I still had Letterboxd, I'd look through that. Because you can find some real stinkers on Letterboxd, let me tell you. There you can find some terrible fucking reviews on Letterboxd. You know what? I'm going to see. I don't have the app downloaded anymore. But I'm going to see if I can't just search for it and look at some reviews. Oh, I'm logged in still. That's weird. That's weird that I'm still logged in here on my Safari. Dream Warriors. One thing about Letterboxd is it really is the Twitter of movie apps, because you can see some of the dumbest fucking takes, like some of the stupidest shit you've ever fucking read in your life, and they're completely serious, and it's like it's so frustrating. Of the people that I followed on this app, one person gave it 5 stars, another gave it 3, 3.5, 4. One guy gave it 1.5, and then somebody else gave it 3.5 again. Let's see. Let's look at some reviews here. How do I fucking look at reviews again? I don't have the app anymore, so I don't even know. I might download it again just for this shit, because this is kind of fun. It has 722 fans, which means that 722 people list this movie as one of their 4 favorites, which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I think that's noble. I think it's noble. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm sorry.
I know why.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Let's look at some popular reviews. Okay, I'm looking for them 1 stars, baby. Give me them shitty ass 1-star takes, brother. Give me them fucking next. Give me them fucking shit ass 1-star reviews. I like the part where John Saxon fights a claymation skeleton, says Will Sloan. He did not rate this movie. Let me see. What else do we got? Letterboxd is... Oh my god. Okay, let me see. Is there nothing more? Has nobody given this a 1 star? How do I filter? I haven't used Letterboxd. Oh, that's how I filter. Okay, rating. Let's do... Stop. Let's do between... Yeah. The final girl returns to save others from what she went through is the best horror trope, but she gave the film 1.5 stars. Interesting. Okay, that's too long. That's in Spanish. Nightmare on Elm Part 3 Dream Warrior is ridiculous and dumb. 0.5 star. I'm going to hunt down and kill whoever came up with the idea for the arm mounts and needle hands. Count your fucking days, bitch. 0.5 star. I'm telling you, some of these are hilarious.
That one just sounds like the movie was effective on him.
Right? In my dreams, I'm a wizard, and then it's like that nerdy emoji, 1 star. This is why it's the Twitter of fucking film apps, because people will just make a joke and then rate it 1 star, and I'm like, what are you doing on here? Like, if you're not, like, the whole point is to log it for yourself and write a review for yourself. And I guess you're still doing that, but, like, then when people and my favorite thing is when people in the comments push back and be like, what didn't you like about it? And then they're just, like, cagey and, like, what's the word? Condescending towards the people in the comments, like, oh, I don't have to tell you why I gave this movie 1 star. Okay, but you're on a public forum where you gave a movie 1 star and you're upset that people are asking why? Like, you aren't built for this. Go back to film Twitter and just fucking complain about the movie to your echo chamber of girls who will just go, yes, and then be fine. Like, just do that. Just do that. Stop. That's part of why I stopped using this fucking app. Anyway, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Girl Interrupted, 1 star. That's a pretty good one. How are you going to kill one of 3 final girls, Nancy Thompson? 0.5 star. 1 of 3? Oh, 1 of the. Okay, I read it wrong. 1 of the. You're going to rate it a 0.5 star because there were stakes and the main character died? Get the fuck out of here. God, I hate that fucking mindset. Oh, character I like died. 1 star. If I felt that way, I'm gonna save that. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that right now.
If people actually felt that way, then Infinity War would be the lowest ranked movie ever in history.
Then which one?
Infinity War.
Oh yeah.
You killed him? No. Worst movie ever.
I really don't understand the praise for this one. I guess people love the fact that Craven's back on scripting duties, or maybe it's the return of Heather Langenkamp, or just the fact that it goes back to the rules set out by the first film. But none of that does anything for me. The dream sequences are over the top and just plain silly compared to the more sinister and subtle scenes of the first film, as a result of having far more money to play with in this film, I guess. The whole Dream Warriors aspect is just laughable. Magic wizard, acrobatics, and it marks the start of Freddy's decline into wise-cracking japester? What the fuck does japester mean?
I think he meant jokester.
Welcome to prime time, bitch. Seriously? I thought I'd enjoy it more than I did when I was younger, but still can't get into it at all. 1 star.
Has he never actually had a dream?
See, I love this. I love this because me and Justin can just hate people on this app together.
Like, how are you going to say the dreams don't make sense? Do your dreams make sense in reality? Like, can you do some shit in your dream that you can't do in real life? I'm pretty sure you can.
Boring. Michael Myers would kick Freddy's ass. 1.5 stars. I really want to like this series like everybody else does, but I just get super bored every time. 1 star. Is this the movie where with the drop kick through the mirror? Because if so, I like that scene. 1/2 star. See, that's the other thing is people, they don't even fucking like care enough to be like, oh, is that this one?
Did you even watch it?
And I'm just like, dude, because these are people that were probably on their phone for half the movie, and then they were like, I didn't like it. And then I'm just like, what? Then don't watch movies, bitch. I don't know what to tell you. This is a whole fucking, Jesus, that was a whole essay, dude. I was going to give this 3.5 stars, but then they killed my girl Nancy, who was very nat-coded. What the fuck does that mean? Bri, I blame you. It's giving trauma. They were so wrong for that. What the fuck? 1 star. See, that's how I know I'm getting older, is I'll see shit that's like that I vaguely understand, but not really. What the fuck did you just say? Oh my God, what? Okay, number 9 on binging this October spooky kooky month film based on rewatch. That's a racial slur. I don't particularly enjoy this one. I think it's because they have far too many characters to keep track of. Either way, each character is rather silly, and this film makes me cringe. Although I must say it's better than 2, so yeah, that's a first. I think the plotline is a bit tired as well, but as much as bits and pieces are seeping through about Freddy's past life, it goes a long way to build up a pretty good backstory of him. A real firm spine. What is he talking about? He's talking like a fucking Metal Gear Solid character. Also, I was really numb while watching this, particularly because I ended up suppressing ever emotion for Freddy. I didn't want to be reminded of that naive bitch I was. 1 out of 5. Morale of my life, don't date fictional characters. What the fuck is this Tumblr ass shit? 1 star. Jesus Christ. The quality of a nightmare movie is inversely proportional to the amount of Freddy they feature, and he's in this one a lot. 1.5 stars. So they don't like Freddy, I guess.
That doesn't make sense. Why are you watching a Freddy movie?
Man, this film does not deserve to have a main theme that goes off quite like this one. It took Chucky, 7 films to get to the institution premise, but this franchise succumbs at the 3rd entry. Big yike. 1.5 stars. I'm sorry, is it problematic for a mental institution to be in a horror movie? What the fuck?
He must not like grave encounters.
No. The Birth of Schlock Freddy Krueger, 1 star. Okay. I was like, okay at first, but then the powers of the guys within their dreams were like, damn, this movie is shit as fuck. A girl transforms herself into a warrior from the Hunger Games. The other one is an Olympic winner. One guy breaks buildings. Another one can get off his wheelchair and walk. And the last one is a magician. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you for real?
You described 2 of the same.
I know. The first part of the movie is very classic horror. And I was kind of into it. But the second part is just pure shit. 1/2 star. Thank you, Eduardo Fonseca, for writing that review. Oh, my God. What a... Oh my God! Some of these fucking reviews. This one is God, and then you have people that write like fucking essays. You found your dream power. Heroic, uplifting music. Everyone giggles. Oh man, this was bad. 1 star. See, and that's the thing. It makes you feel like, wow, so you hate the whole movie because of one cringy line, bruh. And that's the other reason I stopped using Letterboxd is because I feel like it made me watch movies in a different way, in the sense where I was like, it made me think like, at first it was cool because I was like, oh, I get to analyze why I like a movie, but I already do that, and it was like, okay, I would like rate a movie 4 stars, and then I'd watch a movie that I liked as much, maybe more, maybe less, and I'd be like, but do I do it 3.5 or do I do it 4.5? And I'd be like, I don't want to think about movies like this anymore. I'm like, I just want to watch a movie and enjoy it. So that's why I stopped using it, because shit like this, you can tell this person's probably like, wow, that line dropped it all the way to 1 star. Really? A line? Okay. Okay, brother. You know, when Martin Scorsese talks shit about MCU movies, he's also talking about people like you. That's the thing. Martin Scorsese loves movies. And when he says that MCU movies are like a carnival ride, he's not saying they're bad. He's just saying that's what he sees them as. But then he also loves movies. He does not like fucking shit talk movies like this. Oh my God. People think he's so pretentious, but he's not. He's just an old man that likes to watch movies. He's like my grandpa. That's what he is. He's great. I love him. He's a nice little man. My little Italian cannoli. It manages to be even less impressive than part 2. The Nun is nice touch, though. 1.5 stars.
You like The Nun, but nothing else?
Like,
Get
what
fuck
the
outta
fuck?
here.
What? You got to give me more than this. Can it get any worse than this? At least I can relate to the characters in this movie. They are trying to stay awake because Freddy will kill them, and I am trying to stay awake to see this crap until the end. Yay, they brought back Nancy. That's okay, I guess. Oh, and Freddy became the pun master and said his first bitch. That was fun. If I hear another high-pitched scream, I am going to lose my shit. Also, young and slim Lawrence Fishburne. Damn, I did not expect him here. Half star. I am the Wizard Master is a real thing that is said in this movie. 1.5 stars. Okay, I get it.
That's everybody's problem with it.
It is what it is, I guess. Definitely can't see the appeal of the franchise when I see this. Creative kills and special effects were decent enough to give it the rating that it deserves. 1.5 stars. Is it meant to be meta by being so boring you want to go to sleep? 1 star. No, Nancy, my final girl. 1.5 stars. This is when the franchise gets silly and it is really fun, but its metaphor is possibly the most serious so far, and when you put that into a movie called The Dream Warriors, where Freddy is at his wackiest, it makes for a weird contrast. How did we get here? 1 star. What? Billie Eilish and Natasha Romanoff walk into a mental hospital. 1.5 stars. What does that even fucking mean?
So is he saying that Patricia Arquette looks like Billie Eilish and that Nancy's supposed to be Natasha?
I don't know, dude. This person just put a blue heart. 1.5 stars. The skeleton, bruh. I'm crying. 1 star. Nightmare on Elm Street deserved better. 1 star. What a cast. What a strange route they wander to at the end. What an obvious kicker. 1.5 stars. Why ruin all the fun Freddy was having by having these boring kids wake up? 1 star. Justice for Philip. 1 star. Jesus Christ. Still needing to see 6 and 7. Definitely the worst one. 1.5 stars. Okay. 1 star. All I can describe this as is the bastard screenplay of 100 Maniacs. 1.5 stars. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I am the master wizard. 1.5 stars.
So most of those people's problems are the wizard line because
It's cheesy because it's an 80s movie. Yeah.
because being nerdy is not cool.
But I guarantee you these same people will like love it when a movie like Showgirls is just camp and be like, "Oh my god, it's so satirical and so fun." And I'm like, "Okay. All right." I'm not saying Showgirls isn't fun and campy, but like, come on. Be consistent. Never before has a movie made me rage quit. Then I watched this. I get that it's a cult classic with 2 iconic Freddy kills, but it lacks substance and purpose in a way that derails what was such an iconic horror franchise into nonsensical cartoon garbage. Freddy is great in this movie as always, but I wanted the movie to end before watching more of this wizard kid bullshit. The crazy thing is there are so many interesting ideas for how to approach a 3rd installment and move forward with it, but this was the worst way to handle every single one. It's literally always the wizard kid. Always the wizard kid. Ugh. These ratings are ridiculous. This movie was nothing short of ridiculous. The good parts, that cute little Freddy doll and young Lawrence Fishburne. The bad parts, basically everything else. 1.5 stars. That's in French.
Oh, people.
The worst episode of Riverdale, 1.5 stars. Nice, dude. Let me see. Oh, that's a fucking essay. Never mind. What? 80s type shit? I did not care about the characters at all. 1 star. Yeah, it's 80s type shit because it came out in the 80s. You're so smart. So unserious. 1.5 stars. They put everything in their mothers in this blasphemous movie. 0.5 star. Top CGI moments. 0.5 star. It wasn't CGI. You fucking 10-year-old. Who are you? Jesus. Ugh. Directed by Chuck Russell. Wow, his career really took a nosedive after The Thing. What did he do on The Thing? What?
I don't know.
What? Not so scary. 0.5 star. At least she was straight to the point. Honestly, it was better than the first two. Imagine a skeleton dancing on your body after beating you in a fight. LOL. 1 star.
Every time you say skeleton, one specific thing pops into my head.
Fortnite?
No. You know what it is.
Yeah. Why the F did I watch this? I had trouble sleeping for days after. All right, not really, but just not my cup of tea. 1.5 stars. Welcome to prime time, bitch, is my favorite line from these movies. This is one of the best absolute pieces of dog shit I've ever seen. 1.5 star. So you have people like that, too, that rate it low because it's a bad movie, but they still love it. And I can get it, but, like, I don't know. I'd just rate it 5 stars.
Yeah.
This shit was goofy as hell. That nurse hot, though. LMAO. 1.5 star. Wow. Wow, this is garbage. You actually like this? 1 star. What's your favorite movie? I want to see what this dude's favorite movie is. Let me see. Show me what your favorite movie is. Gremlins 2? Gremlins 2, Lilo and Stitch, Muppets Most Wanted, and Bride of Chucky are his 4 favorites. But he doesn't like this movie. That's, dude, Letterboxd is so fucking funny. Letterboxd is so fucking funny. Oh my god. That was exceptionally bad, says Ugly Cuckling. What a good name. He does not have any favorites. So I can't even make fun of him. He liked Barbie, though, so good for him, I guess. I like Barbie, too. The more of these I see, the more I appreciate Scary Terry. 1 star.
What?
This shit wouldn't end. This was absolutely stupid. Like, clearly the writers just didn't know what else to write. Whenever you have a character that has a gift or powers, that's when you know you've made too many movies in a franchise. I can't believe they brought back the terrible actress from the first movie. 0.5 star. By movies I watched. God, you don't have any favorites either. God, I want to talk shit. I want to talk shit. The first movie was good. The second was utter bollocks, but at least attempted to be horror. This one really goes off the rails and has a weird Goonies thing going for it. It's not scary at all, but is really unintentionally funny at times. There's a scene where Freddy appears in the real world as a skeleton, and it's so fucking ridiculous I was laughing. Also, a lot of things don't get resolved, like some characters die, but they never address it, so IDK if they died or if they made it out. My favorite line from Freddy, welcome to primetime, bitch, 1.5 star. Thanks, Peaches. What's your favorite movie? Whiplash, Spider-Man 2, Neon Genesis Evangelion, The End of Evangelion, and Eraserhead.
Decent.
I'll let it slide. You gave Malignant 1.5. I hope you die. You gave Malignant 1.5 stars. You bitch. Oh my god.
1.5.
How? See, but I love Malignant so much because it's not afraid to be fucking ridiculous. Those are my favorite kinds of movies. So no wonder they don't like this one.
Yeah, that's why we're going to review Slaughterhouse.
You know what? If we ever do Slaughterhouse, we're doing a double bill with the house that Jack built. Just to fucking spite you. That's what we're doing.
Wait, what's that movie?
You know what it is.
I don't.
You'll remember.
I've heard it.
You'll remember.
Is it about a Jack in the Box?
No. No. Spooky Season Fest Day 2. This is a movie that is very bad. It's very funny, and that's all I have to say about it. It says Foxy Poo. 1.5 stars. What's your favorite movie? Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, The Shining, Rear Window, and The Killing of a Sacred Deer. So one of those is very clearly something they probably watched as a child, and then the rest are the pretentious film bro picks. Good for them. I do love The Shining, so I'll give you that. Damn, not as good as the first two, says John. 1.5 stars. I swear it wasn't me. All right, one of your favorite movies is Lord of the Rings: Two Towers. What'd you give Blade Runner? 4.5 stars? Yeah, I don't care anymore. I don't care about your opinion.
What's wrong with the Two Towers? It's a good movie.
What did I say earlier about movies not being boring, huh?
It's not boring.
Okay. All right, I'll let you have that.
I've watched the extended versions multiple times and have not been bored at any point watching
Damn,
them.
bro, I'm so glad you could do that. I fucking can't. I fall asleep. I cannot. I don't know why those movies don't click with me. I think it's because I don't care about fantasy settings, but I love Baldur's Gate 3 right now. So I don't understand like why I can't get into those movies. I'm going to try again at some point because I have them on Blu-ray, but I don't know what it is. I've tried watching them multiple times and I fucking fall asleep every goddamn time.
I can give you The Hobbit because
I don't give a fuck about The Hobbit. I'm not watching The Hobbit.
Those are kind of, I mean, I like them, but they're a bit rough to get through sometimes.
Yeah, I ain't watching The Hobbit. I'm gonna be real with you. But anyway, yeah, that's all we have to say pretty much. I don't want to keep. The more I read Letterboxd reviews, the more my brain melts. So we'll put that on hold for the next movie.
Yeah.
Which will be Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
Bringing, you read that one review where someone complained about when you bring in people with powers. That's how you know you've made too many.
It took them until the 7th movie to do that with fucking Friday the 13th, though. Carrie versus Jason.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm actually kind of excited to watch this one. I feel like I'll like it. I don't know why. There's just something about, like, the premise. I feel like I'm going to like it a lot. I don't know. It's funny because, like...
After Jason Lives, these are the ones I like the most.
See, that's the thing is I like schlock, and I like it when schlock isn't afraid to be schlock, when it, like, doesn't take itself seriously. Except for Freddy's Dead, okay?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about Freddy. It's just bad. I don't like that movie. Fucking Tom Arnold's in it for some reason. Ugh, anyway. Yeah, that's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3.
Dream Warriors.
Any final thoughts, Justin?
Well, don't listen to all those negative Nancys.
from the actual film Twitter.
Yeah. So far, this has been the best one to me. It goes 3-1-2. Because, like I said earlier in the beginning, I like that this one actually took the dream elements and made it crazy and weird, while also being slightly scary, but not so scary.
Yeah.
Which I get after. I mean, even if they tried to make this one scary, I don't feel like you can recapture what the first one did. So no matter what, you're not going to get a scarier Freddy.
Yeah.
So they had to up the ante in a different way. And I think they did it just fine in this one.
Yeah. George, what are you doing?
None of the characters were boring. They all served a purpose. Aside from, well, I mean, the nun served a purpose, but
But he hates religion.
I don't like that plot point of
He
the
hates
story.
religion.
I just think it's dumb.
I think it's 1-3-2 for me. And it's not even because, like, we talked about 2. We both like 2.
Yeah.
Like, we still think it's good. It's just that, I don't know. It's so separate from the rest of it. But that's what I kind of like about it, is that it doesn't try to just follow up. It's its own thing. And I know it, like, breaks a lot of rules, but, like, I don't fucking care. Because, I mean, rules are meant to be broken sometimes.
The thing I don't like about the second one is just Freddy's makeup. It doesn't look right.
Yeah, it doesn't.
To me.
I don't like Freddy's makeup in that one either.
This one had it perfect.
He looks like a demon in the second one, but in this one, yeah.
His nose in the second one. That's my problem.
He looks like a witch, right? Yeah.
It just looks fucking weird.
So, anyway. So, yeah, I think that this is it's similar to The Exorcist, where the first movie is a classic, and then you have the sequel that nobody really likes,
Which one?
Exorcist 2, The
Oh.
Heretic. And then you have Exorcist 3, which has no fucking right to be as good as it is, but I fucking love The Exorcist 3. God damn it, that movie is fucking amazing. I love that movie so much. And just like with Nightmare on Elm Street, it's the same idea. The first one's a classic. A lot of people don't like the second one, and the third one is like the true sequel. The true sequel where you have the creative writer, where you have the writer come back and make his own story and shit. And The Exorcist Part 3's case, William Peter Blatty directed it as well. But yeah, I really liked this one. I think it's a good time. It's a good movie, and it's a good Nightmare on Elm Street movie, and that's the most important part. Again, Frank Darabont, you know, I really like his writing style. I like anything that he's written. I pretty much like, for one reason or another. He's a very good writer, and you know, same creative team as The Blob, and I love The Blob, so it's no surprise I really like this one. Best kills, or my favorite kill in the franchise is in this movie. Best one-liners in this movie. This is probably the most classic Nightmare on Elm Street, kind of like how Jason Lives was the most, like, you know, I guess classic Friday the 13th outside of the original.
Yeah.
So, solid movie. Next week, we go back to Crystal Lake to talk about The New Blood.
Yep.
We're getting closer and closer to Freddy versus Jason, people.
Fuck yeah.
And we thank you for listening and joining us on this little stupid 80s slasher journey that we're going through.
Yep.
Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. You know, keep watching horror movies. Keep listening to us talk about horror movies.
Yep.
And keep listening to us read bad reviews.
Just keep it on. Life's a garden. Dig it.
What year were you fucking born? What year were you born?
You don't remember what that's from?
I don't.
Joe Dirt.
Oh my god, dude! I haven't seen Joe Dirt since I was like 8.
I watched it on YouTube.
I don't
last
fucking
week.
remember anything about that movie. Do you watch it on YouTube? Like, was it like?
It's free with ads.
Okay, it was free. Okay, I was gonna say, did you watch it the old way where it was like split up across 10 parts, and you had? That's how I watched American History X for the first time. Was on fucking YouTube, split up across 10 parts. That's how I fucking watched it. Very weird to watch it that way, but that's how I did it. And it was like cropped all fucking weird, so it didn't get picked up by fucking copyright. What a time to be alive in the late 2000s on YouTube. But yeah, I already said all the thanks. Keep watching horror movies. Right now, I'm personally going through the Chucky franchise, and I'm loving every second of it. It's kind of weird watching these movies because they're all fun, and I was so fucking scared of Chucky when I was a kid. And every single one of these movies is like super fun, even like the ones that are more horror, like the first one. Really just the first one, actually. From the second one onward, it's Don Mancini was just like, I'm just going to make him fucking joke around now. So, yeah, I really like them, though. They all look really fucking good in 4K, too. Like, really good. I have all the 4K releases. That's why I'm watching them. I'm trying to work through my backlog, and they've been on my backlog for a while. So, they look fantastic. Shout Factory did a great job with them. So, if you got money, I recommend buying them. They're good. They're worth it. Especially if you're a horror fan.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's all I got. Justin, is there anything you want to talk about before we leave?
Nope.
All right. Well, next week, we are going back to Camp Crystal Lake for The New Blood. We hope you'll join us. And that's all we got.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh,
Bye.
no.